Well, good afternoon, guys. I hope y'all have had a great Monday so far. Thank you for joining me, and I know some people are going to be watching this later. That was a question I was getting a lot on my Facebook page is, am I going to leave this up for people that can't do it today at 3? Of course we are. You can always check the Mix 96.9 Facebook page. We'll make sure to save it for you so you don't have to worry about that. If you want to watch it and then do it with the kids later tonight, I understand that as well. So again, today we are going to be making coffee filter butterflies. One thing that you probably don't know about me is I used to be a daycare teacher, so I went back a few years, several years, and figured out some of the easy, fun crafts just, to give mom and dad a break. And also, I get it, kids are getting stir crazy. There's been a lot of bad weather lately, so you haven't been outside as much as you'd like. So just wanted to give y'all a second to hop on here. I know a couple of people are still, I'm getting notifications on my watch, but just to go over it again, what you need for today, you need 2 coffee filters per child that's going to make these. Washable markers, they can be any brand, it doesn't have to be Crayola. Pipe cleaners, whatever color you want. Water, and a plate or a bowl. Obviously, make sure your mom and dad are here. I don't want making any messes and you getting in trouble. But there is one part that we'll get to later on that if you have a parent, you can do it one way. If you don't, you'll have to do it another way. So just keep that in mind. So are we ready? You think we're ready to go? Okay. First thing you need to do is you need to take your coffee filters. Again, each child is going to need to do 2 to be able to make the butterflies. And you just need to color on them however you want, whatever designs you want. I'm going to show you a couple of examples of things that we did earlier today, me and Mackenzie, just so you know. You really need to make sure when you're coloring that you try to color all the way around the coffee filter and fill it up as much as you possibly can and be as colorful as you can as well. You don't want to stick to one color or they won't turn out exactly the way you want them to. So I'm just going to kind of show y'all an example of some things you can do. This one's going to be very, very fast, so just know that you can take as long as you want. You can always pause the video and come back and do it later. So again, just make sure that when you're doing this, the kids are coloring to every corner. You want to make sure that they are really going to make it as colorful as possible. So again, this one's being done very fast, so don't worry about it. You can take as much time as you possibly need, but again, just see that I'm doing a lot of different colors so that when we add to it later, it'll really show up. And again, you don't have to use any certain kind of markers or anything like this. This is just ones that my boss actually had laying around his house for his kids that he brought in. Do whatever you want. You can do stars, you can do circles, you can do squigglies, you can do anything. The main thing, again, I want to point out is if you see on this one, there's colors all the way to the edge. That's definitely a plus on these. You want to go as close to the edge as possible. So again, take your time, make it however you want, as pretty as you want, but just know that when we start adding water to it, you're not going to really be able to see the shapes and colors or anything. That's just for the kids to have fun. But you won't be able to make out any of the designs. It's more important just to put as much on there as possible and as many colors as possible. So make sure to do that. All right, I've almost got it. Again, take as much time as you want. I'm not rushing you, I promise. I'm going to just do one more and then we'll move on. Make sure again, mom and dad, if you're there, there is one part coming up in just a few minutes that if you are there with them, they can do it one way that might be a little bit easier, but if not, we'll have an alternative way for them to do it as well. All right, so once you do that, you're gonna color 2, and I'm just gonna show you how I did the same design on these 2 just because I wanted them to look very similar once we started adding water. You don't have to, but it's very important that every child has 2 of these. So the next thing that you do, and this is kind of where it gets a little, not messy, but just be cautious of what you're doing. Take the plate or the bowl, whatever you have, and set your coffee filter on it. And if you'll see, I've got just plain water in here. There's nothing added to it. And you want to stick your fingers in here and just kind of flick water on it. You want to make sure that you're kind of covering every corner of it. You'll see the colors kind of start to bleed and run, and that's what you want. Don't do it too much, just enough to really get every little area wet. You'll see Are you zooming in, Mackenzie? You'll see where the colors are really starting to run. That's exactly what you want to do, and definitely do the middle, because when I was practicing this, if you don't do the middle, it really doesn't turn out exactly how you want it to. It'll still be beautiful, but not exactly how you want it to do. But just see where I'm kind of wetting it just a little bit with my fingers all over. Okay? You're going to do that to both of your coffee filters, okay? I only have one plate here, so I'm not going to take the time to do the second one. But again, just make sure, see how it's completely wet here, all right? Do that to both of yours. And then this is where, if you have a mom and dad with you and it's close by, you can go over to the microwave and actually stick this in the microwave for 30-second increments. Just put it in there for 30 seconds. If you don't have a mom and dad right there beside you, or the microwave isn't close by, you can really just either wait for these to dry. They don't take that long, or even stick them outside. Today's a pretty warm day, so you could probably do that as well. Or maybe you are doing this outside, so that works out perfect. But you just want to do this in increments of 30 seconds. Most of the time, parents, if you're watching, I did this twice for each coffee filter, and it worked out perfect. Because if you just do 30 seconds, I'm going to show you what I mean. That's still a little damp, and that kind of makes the next step a little bit more difficult. So if you look, you can definitely see when you use the microwave, you get that little pretty darker color lines in it, but it's still a little wet. So if I put it back in there for 30 more seconds, it'll probably be perfect. Again, you don't have to use the microwave. In fact, when we were practicing these earlier, we didn't use the microwave at first, but I just wanted to be able to make this video quickly so that you know exactly what it is, but enough to where you get all the details of how to make them. But again, I know a lot of people will go back and rewatch this and maybe do it at a different time, so I didn't want to just drag it out too long. But again, I put this back in here for 30 more seconds. It's almost done. And you'll see where it's pretty much dried. And that just kind of makes it, the wet spots that are still here is because I touched it on the plate. So in between, if you want to, in between the 30 seconds that you do the microwave, if you want to wipe down your plate too, just to make sure there's no excess water there. But what you'll see is, just like I just did this one, they'll kind of turn out like this. These are two that I did earlier just so I could show you guys. They're completely dry and they're totally tie-dyed. Pretty cool. So the next step is, you might, again, mom and dad, if you're sitting there watching, you might want to help the smaller kids, but not that hard. All you're going to do, and Mackenzie's going to zoom in, is you're going to fold this like a fan. So one way, then you flip it, fold it the next way. Okay? You keep doing that the whole way. And again, it's completely dry at this point, so you don't have to worry about it. Keep on until you're completely done. And when you get one of them done, just set it to the side and do the other one. Exactly the same. Just like a fan, one side, flip it over, fold it again. Flip it over, fold it again. Keep doing that until you have two of them completely done. All right? So have these two. I actually had made a set earlier as well. So they're just completely folded, just like little fans. I'll let her zoom in just so you can kind of see. Again, nothing special, just a fan, and you'll see where the different layers are. That's kind of where the butterfly is going to come into play. So when you have your two that are completely folded like fans, you take your pipe cleaners, whatever colors you want. We got a variety, of course. And take your pipe cleaner and set your folded coffee filter in the middle. You pull the pipe cleaner over like this. And I'm going to let Mackenzie zoom in so you can see where you're just twisting the pipe cleaner. Just enough to give it a tight little hold so that it doesn't go anywhere. Okay? Just do that a couple times just to make sure that it's good and tight. And then you can fold. Well, it might help it. You know what? I just made a mistake. You got to put both of them on there. Stack them before you do that. And then again, you just put the pipe cleaner over it and twist it. You could do it with one, it just won't be as full. Then you can spread the coffee filter out. And you kind of, when you spread it out, kind of push this in, and that's what'll kind of make the butterfly stay. Do it on all four sections. Now, you take your pipe cleaner, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to kind of fold it to where, and push it back, just push it down like this. where it's gonna start looking like its antennas. All right, and you can just kind of mess with the pipe cleaner. Pipe cleaner is pretty tough, so you can kind of bend it however way you want and make it exactly what you want. And then take one of the markers, and you don't have to do this, it's just easier. You fold the pipe cleaner over, and it'll help kind of give that curly end that the antennas have. Just like that, okay? And then you do it on this side as well. And let go, and you got 2 curlies. Coffee filter butterfly. We made several of them because let's be honest, I just wanted to make sure that I could still do these. So that's kind of how it's supposed to turn out. Again, it's a super easy, fun craft for the kids, and most people have everything that you need for this one around the house. Everything here, if you were to go out and buy everything, Dollar Store has all of this. Amazon, you can get it all in one little basket trip, so don't even worry about that. I want to see all the kids. If you make these coffee filter butterflies, please post them either in the comments below on my page. You can search for me by typing in Blair Davis Mix 96.9, or simply just put it on the Mix 96.9 page as well. We definitely want to see those. We're going to be doing another craft tomorrow. Again, 3 o'clock Central on the Mix 96.9 Facebook page. Make sure you like the page, that way you get notified when we go live. I'll see you guys tomorrow.